Number one, thanks for being here. It's good to win, obviously. It's fun, a heck of a lot better on Sunday when you win. We played a good football team. I think, they'll probably win 10 games again in the MAC at least. And I think they're well coached, they're physical. Really want to thank the students. I think our students were awesome. And thank them for being there and coming out. And, with that being said, we've yesterday was Tell the Truth on Mondays, and we've got to get better as a football team, and we've got to get better in some areas that we'll talk about. But as you review the film, you look at some missed assignments in there. We've got to make sure that we're finishing on the ball defensively. We won the fourth quarter, which is huge. We go back to a couple games, 3 games last year that we didn't finish in the fourth quarter, so that's always going to be big for us. Did a good job protecting the ball, had the 1 turnover, but I think, and then our defense did a nice job getting the ball back. We were +2 in turnover margin. A year ago, they were +12 throughout the season, so that was a big emphasis. And we played with pretty good discipline. We had, the 1 penalty that cost, 7 points basically, and on Cody. I'll be honest with you, I send in calls that I think are maybe questionable, and they do a really good job of getting back to us. And I can see their point on throwing the flag, and I can see not throwing the flag. But it was too bad because Marcus did a great job, true freshman, 103 yards. He would like to have that. That's something that he did. But we didn't have any dumb, real mistakes. And that was really good. We got to be more physical on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think, we played a lot of guys defensively up front, and we're trying to figure that rotation out and all that. But we got to play better and more physical on the line of scrimmage. Christian Jones, for his first start at left tackle, he really, I thought he played well. I think the neat thing is watching him finish down the field. He did a nice job of almost all the time being there to pick up the running back, and I really think he had a great efforts to the ball, and he played well. We talk about our offense has to control the tempo of the game. We didn't do that, especially early. I think, at the end of the first half, obviously, and then I think in the second half, we were a little better. Our time of possession, though, wasn't near what it needs to be. And special teams, I thought, were pretty good. Jack, the kickoff out of bounds, we really don't want the ball on the 35-yard line, and he knows that, but he'll get that straightened out. And I think he made was it a 52 or 49-yard field goal early. So I was really excited about that for him.
Question about Nate. Started 4 for 10 and looked like he had really bad footwork, and then he finished, I think, 13 for 17. Does he have to, or can you settle him down on his footwork? Big issue with him in terms of his inaccuracy.
Well, I think anytime, and it's amazing. You mentioned footwork because all 11 positions out there, if they don't have the right footwork, they're not going to be successful. It's no different. I think, when early in the game, I think he may have been a little hesitant and just not letting it go. I think he got more settled in. And, second half, the end of the first half, second half, I thought he did a nice job.
It seemed like almost every linebacker that got snaps out there made at least one impact play. Considering who you guys lost and maybe the noise that from the outside was that was going to be a concern. Is that do you feel a lot more comfortable with that position moving forward?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with any positions yet, to be honest with you. Uh, you know, uh, we talk about improving every day we go on the field, and we have to do that. It was good to see the activity. We've got some guys who I think are good football players. I think Zyrus and Cody. Cody for he had the bad hit and all that kind of stuff, but he's a guy who flies to the football, and for a little skinny guy, he can make some things happen for us.
You mentioned sending plays in for penalties and for explanations. There were a couple other calls that looked iffy. The Des Malone PI, and then I think there was a holding on Dino Dula. Did you get any explanation on those?
I did, but that's it.
The secondary, I think, had 8 pass deflections. Is collectively that the best that this group has played even dating back last year?
It might, it's that's one of the goals we had, for past PBUs. We wanted to be aggressive there, and I think overall, and if you'd asked them, we didn't think we were aggressive in the first half. As playing routes, playing receivers. They had some guys who I think were good receivers, right? But we didn't think we challenged them enough. But I think as the second half went on, I think we were better there.
You said that the most improvement comes between weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, and can you provide some specifics on where you see that?
Yeah, I think probably Lloyd Carr, or probably somebody before then, Dan Summerall at Toledo or Jack Harbaugh at Western Michigan, we always talked about, you got to improve between the first and second game. And every year that's something that, we strive for, whether we win the first game or we get our tails beat like last year. We've got to be a better football team from the first game to the second game. And, it's going to go the same way, second to the third game. So if we can keep getting better, then, we'll be a decent football team.
Brady had a question about formations. I saw in that game something you probably haven't seen in a long time against your defense. They stood at the line of scrimmage and let that clock run down before they kind of called their play. Were they trying to wait you out to make you commit with 8 seconds left on the clock before they decided to run what they were going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. And, Coach Maddox is really friendly with the offensive coordinator in Ohio. So he talked to him last night. And they have a unique system. They're going to take the clock is down, like we would like to do defensively. They're going to take it down offensively, and they're going to wait and look for your 1 high, 2 high safeties. Are you a 3-man front or a 4-man front or a 5-man front? And then they're going to make some decisions after that. Well, when they check and when they go like that, and that's what they did a lot, we were checking at the same time. Probably not as much, but we were checking, trying to get in a better defense.
Brady, what do you think of the new, speaking of the clock rule, the run on first half other than the final 2 minutes of the halves?
I never noticed if it was that much faster. I don't know if you all did. I didn't, and I'd heard watching another game Saturday. I forget who I was watching, but there weren't a whole lot of games. But they made a big deal about how fast they thought the first half went, and I was going, well, it doesn't seem that fast to me. Well, in our game, it didn't seem to be that much of a difference.
Is the expectation, or is it possible that it'll create fewer? I think your defense has for 80-something plays, but the theory would be maybe there's 4, 5, 6 left.
They're saying that there's going to be at least three drives less because of it, offensively and defensively. So let's say 6 possessions compared to 9. I didn't notice it, but
I think their thought is it might reduce the chances of injuries, things like that. What's your thought on what they're trying to do?
you know what? I think if that's the reason, and Kirk, I believe that is part of it. I think the other part, obviously, is television and everything that goes along with that. But I I don't mind it. I have no problem with it. You know, it's closer now than ever to the NFL rules, or is. I don't see there's a problem with it.
How do you prepare a coach for an Idaho State team with a new head coach? They haven't played as of yet. They have a number of new players from last year. So what type of film are you watching?
This is as difficult as and I've been coaching a long time. They have, I think, 70 new players on their team from a year ago. Offensively, we've looked at, because you track the background of the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I mean, there's Washington State, there's Hawaii, there's UC Davis. So we've kind of looked at a little bit of all of it. And then defensively, Iowa State is similar, and the defensive coordinator, that in Bluffton University in Ohio. I mean, so it's going to be difficult, but the good thing is we have to be better fundamentally, and that gives us a lot of opportunity to get better because of the individual room, the fundamentals, and all those things that we need to get better at.
Is there ever a concern that the players won't take this as well as they should when it's a team that seems really overmatched, especially when there's a game like you said they're coming up on?
Yeah, well, I don't know how we could say overmatched. You know, number one, the way we played, especially in the first half defensively. I mean, that was absolutely crap. So from that standpoint, and the other, if you don't know who you're playing and playing against, I think I'd want to make sure I prepare myself to play the best game I can.
Idaho State's coach said that they're going to play multiple quarterbacks the first couple weeks before they set on a starter. One of them you saw last year, Hunter Hayes. The other 2 guys, I think, have just played 1 year of JUCO. Has that made that part of what you were saying earlier, made it difficult, not just the system, but the actual see what the quarterbacks can do?
You know, it's more systematic than anything. I don't know if that's the right word, but more, you know, what kind of system they're in. You know, how much are you going to see quarterback runs, all those kind of things.
Noah Tumblin, coming out of spring, he was 5th cornerback listed on the depth chart. He said himself he didn't think he had a good spring. Now he's the defensive player of the game 1, fighting for a starting job. What have you seen from him since spring that has elevated him to this point?
Well, I think Noah's always had the ability. I mean, I think you've seen that, and you know, I'm glad to hear that he said he didn't have a good spring, but we just need him to keep playing at that level, and you know, even increasing.
Hey Brady, the athleticism and skill of the secondary really look good in the second half, as you mentioned. When you look at this group down the road, I guess how good can they be later in the season, and what are your thoughts on that secondary unit?
Well, I think they're one of the strengths of our team, you know, because of the guys that we have back, you know, at the corner position, the safeties, you know, Sdsu and those guys in the back end. I think Marcus Ratcliffe has been a really, really good addition. And that group, when you look at, you know, we lost some guys obviously up front. So we got to count a little bit more on that back end. And so the front guys can come along.
When you look at them as a coach, what gets you excited? Like, do they hit hard? Do they cover? Is there everything?
I think they do a little bit of both, you know. You know, I love watching Ratliff play. I mean, he'll hit you. He did that in the spring. And I think, from the coverage standpoint that we'll get from the corners, and I think if you would ask him this, they played a little tentative in the first half, but the second half, I thought they played much tighter, much better football.
Brady, were you surprised by the crowd at all on Saturday? And what do you guys got to do to continue to build the atmosphere at Snapdragon?
Well, we just got to do our job, and that's go out and win. I mean, that's people like to see people win. I thought the students were great.
What were your impressions of Ryan's first game as a coordinator and kind of what the offense showed?
I put a lot of trust in him, and I wanted to make sure that he knew that before the game, during the game, and like anything else, you always find something that you can do better, and he'll find that out as we move along.
Any benefit to starting the year 3 straight at home? Do you like that, kind of getting your feet wet, or would you rather be a little more balanced?
No, I think that's fine. I mean, it's I never really complain or look at schedules in a certain way. I mean, we don't control it. We just got to go play.
Brady, what's your philosophy about non-conference games? Do you have big input into how you fill those spots? And I guess the question is,
Yeah.
what do you gain playing a team that's 2-20 that's virtually overmatched?
Well, I think when you're a young team, I think playing a team that you say is grossly overmatched, I don't know who's going to be on the field. So I think, it's one of those opportunities that we got to take advantage of.
About Ratcliffe, when you guys were recruiting him out of high school, did the coaching staff envision him playing Aztec, or is that just where the position that's fitted him?
No, I think that's where we knew he was either going to be a safety or an Aztec.
And you mentioned Ratcliffe and also Balin Brooks, true freshman that started on offense. Fans see that and think, man, we're going to have these guys for 4 more years. How much does this now creep into guys like that getting poached?
That's part of it. And what we got to do is, keep recruiting the guys on the team.
Your evaluation of center, right guard, right tackle, the shuffling, and how physical Ohio was, how did your kids hold up? Did they get better? What do you think, especially at right guard?
You talking about for Ohio or for
No,
our offense?
Your offense.
I thought Dean did some good things in there. I think him and Miles, really both. Dean started maybe a handful of games a year ago, but I think both of them together, their communication, there's a lot of good things. Ross did in there as the first time really being a starting center, and but there's always learning points. I think that they all have, from a pad level to targeting, where your feet and your face and your hands go, all that kind of stuff.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.